Hi class, my name is Floyd Heckman, and for my proposal I chose to evaluate the Fort Worth Police Department's Citizen on Patrol initiative. The COPS program is a cooperative effort between the Fort Worth Police Department and its citizens to reduce crime in the city by attacking crime at the neighborhood level. It began in 1991 and it was adopted by then Fort Worth Police Chief Thomas Wyndham after the city was experiencing a double-digit increase in property crimes and other violent crimes. Basically, the program works by having citizens volunteer from their neighborhood who want to be members of the program. They go through a one-day class similar to a Citizens Police Academy, and after they complete that, they're issued an ID badge, a shirt, and a jacket and a hat to wear, and they're issued police radios that only have single-channel capabilities so they can communicate with their neighborhood officers. They patrol their neighborhoods in their personal vehicles that have a COPS magnetic sign attached to the side so they can be a visible presence and act as a deterrent to crime. And they report suspicious activity directly to their neighborhood officers as it occurs, but they're not allowed to get involved in anything. The idea is to be the eyes and ears of the police and allow for a faster response time for in-progress calls. The program has been credited for helping lower Part 1 property crimes in the city by up to 40%. For my literature review, our research focused on existing published peer-reviewed studies on Citizen on Patrol programs, not just Neighborhood Watch. There are only a limited number of studies that I have found that focus on this program. I chose to focus on studies ranging from 1990, the year prior to the program, up until today. One study in 2008 compiled data from 10 similar Citizen Watch programs, consisted mainly of data review of police records, and they compared records in experimental areas with the program to controlled areas without a program, and there appeared to be a 16% decrease in crime in the experimental areas, which were found to be significant. They also analyzed before and after program surveys in the experimental and controlled areas. However, these findings were insignificant. I was able to locate a research review that was an actual review of the COPS program at the Fort Worth Police Department. The study revealed there were no documented evaluations by Fort Worth PD that supported the effectiveness of the program. It was more of a what is the program about versus its success. There was a 24% decrease in Part 1 property crimes during the first 2 years of the program. But Fort Worth PD also started her neighborhood patrol officer program and increased the size of their gang unit during the same time frame. Another research project was carried out by evaluating surveys that were sent to 100 different police agencies in Texas, asking them about their experience with the COPS program. 49 agencies responded, and those who had experienced with the Citizens on Patrol program said it was popular with the community and appeared to be a viable crime-fighting strategy. Fort Worth PD did not respond to their survey. A 2008 study focused on police departments having Citizens Watch programs who did a self-review of their own program. Researchers reviewed the police records and compared crime data before and after the programs, focusing primarily on property crimes. The results showed all agencies self-reporting their own programs claimed the programs lowered overall crime, but researchers found these agencies used rather weak research methods. The agencies who use good research methods shows mixed findings regarding the success of the department's program. For my proposal, I want to conduct and evaluate the Fort Worth Police Department Citizen on Patrol program to measure its effectiveness as a viable tool to help reduce crime in the city of Fort Worth. My methodology involves evaluating the citizens' attitudes towards the COPS program by using mailed surveys to both experimental and controlled neighborhoods and incorporating lower, middle, and upper class neighborhoods. Survey will contain confidentiality notifications and coded posted page return envelopes to encourage participation. They'll be mailed to all 10 patrol districts to capture data surrounding the perceived effectiveness of the Citizens on Patrol program, and I'll use a 1 to 5 scoring scale and add a comment section. Examples of the survey questions include the demographics of the respondent, their attitudes towards the COP program in their neighborhood, if they have one. Do they feel the program reduces crime levels in their neighborhood? What is their perception of the police in your neighborhood? Do you trust them? The level of crime in your neighborhood, have they been a victim themselves? Are you willing to cooperate with the Fort Worth Police Department in investigative matters? And how often do you visit with your neighbors and interact with them so we can get insight into their social capital? I'll also conduct a systematic analysis of Part 1 property crime offense in 5 of the 10 police districts. This will involve data from neighborhoods with the program and neighborhoods without the program. I will also review data to determine crime levels in experimental neighborhoods to compare crime rates prior to and after the program implementation as the neighborhoods joined the program and came online. I also want to review call data to determine how many calls initiated by a cop citizen resulted in no action taken by officers. I will examine how frequently neighborhood patrol officers are responding to events that are non-law enforcement false alarm calls. A comparison can then be made to show how often officers are being called away from neighborhoods that do not have a COPS program to respond to calls in neighborhoods that do have COPS programs. Another method will be to conduct department surveys of officers to obtain their perspective of the program by using an online data service like SurveyMonkey to forward surveys to officers at their individual city email addresses. Their surveys will also include open-ended questions so officers can elaborate on their responses about the program. In conclusion, this evaluation is necessary. The program is funded through a crime control prevention district that operates off a 1/2 cent sales tax. The program has been renewed by citizens' vote every 5 years since it began. A review of current Fort Worth PD budgetary documents on the program's funding from 2012 through 2016 shows performance measures that include the number of volunteer hours, the number of newly trained COPS volunteers, and the active number of COPS participants. The COPS program is credited with leading the city to a large decrease in Part 1 property crimes after its inception, yet these performance measures do not reveal any hard statistical data that supports the program's impact on crime rate, and there's no evidence that an audit of the program has ever been done to evaluate its success. Other factors to consider when evaluating the program's successes are: Fort Worth PD began their neighborhood patrol officer program and increased the size of their gang unit during the same time. The department also started their Weed and Seed program during the same period of time in the early 90s, and it was during this time that the Texas prison population increased by 11.8% each year due to stiffer sentencing guidelines through Texas courts. In conclusion, crime trends are up. They're quite fluid and changing, and police agencies must conduct interval evaluations of the programs to prove the program's viability and usefulness to the community. I recommend this evaluation be conducted by non-department personnel to prevent publication or other forms of departmental bias. A well-designed and properly executed evaluation will provide police administrators with qualitative and quantitative empirical data to support or negate the legitimacy of the Citizens on Patrol program, however popular it might be. The evaluation data from this evaluation of the Fort Worth Police Department's Citizen on Patrol program will then be added to existing empirical research data on similar programs to help guide future research efforts. Thank you.